Northern California's Clear Lake sits at the base of a volcano, which is only slightly hotter than California pro angler Brent Ehrler, who's been setting the FLW Tour on fire. Today, Brent and Joe Thomas get set for a Clear Lake eruption on Stihl's Reel in the Outdoors.
Oh, I can see why you caught him now.
Stihl's Reel in the Outdoors with Joe Thomas is brought to you by Stihl. Are you ready for a Stihl?
There you go. There you go. I say we just stay in that ultra shallow spot. The first time I met Brent Ehrler was at a Lucky Craft Pro Staff meeting. We're both on the same team there, and we talked about a lot of things, and I think I knew a little bit more about Brent than he thought I knew, because he was at that point really becoming a rising young star on the FLW Tour. And from the very get-go, I knew that I wanted to get with Brent someday and do a show, particularly on one of those lakes in California that he knew really well. All right, Brent.
There we go.
You whack it pretty good?
He did. He did. That might be a decent one. No, it's not that big. It's not that big at all.
Little guy. Let's start, though.
There we go. Hit it pretty hard.
Tell me a little bit about what we're keying on here.
You know, the main thing here is that these fish are pulling out. They're not really up on the bank anymore. And so right here we've got some good grass, and then out in front of the grass are some good big boulders. And so these fish are sitting just outside that grass, and they kind of hunker down on these boulders a little bit more. In the fall like this, they kind of just get out on that deep crank thing. So they get out in that deeper water, and you know, that's the best way to catch them.
That bait bangs into the boulder and pops off, and it's just a reaction strike.
Exactly.
And I hear you caught some big ones doing this.
I did. I caught a 10-pounder yesterday,
God.
10 and a half. It's the biggest fish I've caught on a crankbait, actually.
That's a giant.
And a couple nice ones. The fishing hasn't been great right now, but you know, you can get into flurries. When you get into a little group of them, you know, that are feeding them, you can catch a couple real fast. And you know, obviously a few big ones. I mean, it was actually like a 10 and a half. Wow. I mean, it was a giant. I thought it was 12. It was one of the biggest fish I've seen out here ever.
Right. I'm ready for one of those. I tell you what, I started out with like an 8. 8's cool with me.
During the fall transition here at Clear Lake, you really have to kind of junk fish. And by junk fishing, we mean you really have to try a bunch of different things. And you go shallow, fish deep, you know, throw a jig, throw a worm out deep, Carolina rig, run up. You fish a shallow crankbait, fish a deep crankbait. So you really have to adjust and kind of bounce around and try different things until you find what the fish are doing. Not only that, you have to kind of do it as the day progresses. With these cold nights, the fish tend to be different in the morning than they are in the afternoon. So you kind of have to follow the fish from going deep to shallow. He did. He hit that one way off the bank, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, he's chunky. Look how chunky that sucker is. Trying to lose him for you, dude. Got him. Look how fat that fish is, man. Look how chunky. He's as round as he is long. Shoot. Man, what a fish. Brent, they're so fat. Are they feeding on those hitch that they catch them on in the spring, or is he just the shad they're eating?
You know, these are the shad right now. I think that they primarily feed on the hitch in the springtime. They do a little bit now, but not as much. The spring's a big deal. That hitch is just crucial for them.
And hitch is like a trout, right?
It's kind of like a trout. It's a soft fin fish is what they call it. Almost like a trout. It doesn't have any spines, you know, like a bluegill or a crappie. It's a real soft fish, and it's about 8, 12 inches long, and they just gulp them, and they love those things.
That's why the swim baits are so good in the spring.
That's why the swim baits are so good. But here right now, there's a lot of silver side. I've never seen this many in here. I mean, just everywhere we go, you can see them flicking around. They're real small, and they're eating those. But, you know, we're throwing a crawdad color. You know, get down there deeper. I think that these fish that are down, you know, that depth are eating, you know, a lot of the crawdads.
Crawfish, gotcha. Yeah. I think it's my turn. I think typically I'm one of those guys that catches maybe fewer but just bigger fish. So, dude, you're rocking. The Forestwood Cup is the pinnacle of the FLW Tour. It's the tournament that everyone tries to win. And I could only imagine, and I had to ask, what it was like for Brent Ehrler to win that big event so early in his career.
Winning the FLW championship was an amazing experience. I I tell people all the time, I wish that experience on everybody. It was one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me. It was just, I still get goosebumps thinking about it, getting up there and having the last person weigh in and realize that I actually won it. It was never even a goal of mine. It was kind of just to get there and be in that tournament, but to win it was just beyond what I imagined. Ooh, is it going?
Might be a decent fish, Brent.
Oh, that's a nice one.
About time. Joe strikes.
Oh,
fat little dude.
Want me to grab him?
No, just
you got him? Nice.
There we go. Fat
nice one.
The red crankbait strikes again. Look how chunky though. Just these fish are just chunky. And trust me, we know this is not a Clear Lake special, but in the fall, they're good looking fish, man. Just healthy. Healthy. Fish. Good one, big one, big one, big one, big one, Brent. Oh no!
First fish right there on the hop.
Just exactly what you said. That is just crazy.
Oh, and he came off too.
He's got bad eyes.